All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Tyson Fury responds to Deontay Wilder rumor about asking for $10 million to step aside from their fight. Tyson Fury responds to a rumor that wasn't even true. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Hey, if you're not subscribed, please accept my invitation to subscribe, and thank you to everybody that supports on the Patreon, the channel memberships, and the live streams that we do Monday through Friday at 11:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. Let's just jump right into this because this is just some more silliness. Yesterday, it was reported by somebody, and I think that their source for this was their backside, because they plucked it right on up out of there and threw it in an article, and a whole bunch of people reacted as if it was true. And this is not an unusual thing for Deontay Wilder lately. Somebody in the media saying something that Deontay Wilder then subsequently denies ever having said. But don't let that stand in the way of people responding to it and using it as a way to tear at the man, or as a way to build up their fighter by association. So let's go through this. Yesterday, there was an article that came out in which said, and this is going through, most of this stuff is going through sourced in the UK, going around in the UK, but then, you know, it'll get out to American media, to the American media, and then they'll respond to it as well. I'll respond to it. Other people respond to it who aren't necessarily, you know, officially media, but we talk about boxing. So Deontay Wilder was supposed to have said, I will step aside for $10 million, provided that you get the signatures of both guys on the contract and I get that fight next, right? So he would allow Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight if he is paid $10 million to step aside and relinquish the rights he has in his rematch clause, and only if he is given on his contract that he will get the winner of that fight, which I guess means that both Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua would have to agree to that. Not only Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury would have to agree to it, but so would Kubrat Pulev, because Kubrat Pulev is the mandatory for Anthony Joshua. And if that fight were not to happen, the Anthony Joshua Pulev fight, then Pulev would say, hey, why don't I get the winner, right? And then you also have the IBF, who doesn't play around with their mandatories. And the fact that, you know, if the IBF were to allow Anthony Joshua to fight Tyson Fury next, then you would also have the IBF that would have some say-so in it, right? As well as the WBC would have some say-so in it, because, you know, the next fight coming up soon will be a mandatory for the WBC champion as well, even though we know the WBC will more than likely fold on anything that, you know, depending on how much money they can make, the WBC would fold. But the IBF typically, you know, ain't in the they're not in the business of folding. So, hey, man, because you've seen the IBF kick people, you know, strip Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin of their belts at 160 pounds. So I don't think they would mind at all stripping one of those heavyweights. They kind of roll like that. But, you know, so there's just when I first heard it, I was like, this really doesn't make any sense, because number one, $10 million probably isn't even enough money. That's not what Deontay Wilder is going to make in that fight. Deontay Wilder is going to make upwards of $20 million in that fight. Why would Deontay Wilder say he would step away for half of that? That doesn't make any sense. Andre Ward just the other day had made a statement about, you know, everybody's got their price. You know, for $20 million, would you step away? Dude, $10 million is what Adrian Bronner made for fighting Manny Pacquiao. That's not what that's not the type of money Deontay Wilder is going to step aside for. That's the amount of money he got fighting. He got more than that fighting Luis Ortiz. So at least according to reports. So the idea that he would step away from 100, you know, from that fight, it just didn't make any sense. Now, So I never believed it. But that, again, that's not the first time that people had said stuff about Deontay Wilder that just absolutely, that's not true, that they don't have any proof is true. But then what happens is somebody says something, the rest of the people take it as if it's true, and then people start responding to it and then using that as a way to tear down Deontay Wilder. For case in point, the mask situation where Deontay Wilder had, when he walked into the ring with a mask on before the second fight, and the media, I think Yahoo Sports was the first one, and if it's Yahoo, that means it's Kevin Iole, was probably the first person to report that, Deontay Wilder blamed this loss on his headgear, which wasn't the case. Deontay Wilder has come out and talked to other people that are very close to him and let them put the word out that, hey, I didn't say that. I was sitting there, people were asking me a ton of questions about what happened in the fight. I just lost the fight, and I was like, I don't know what it could have been. Man, I don't know. Could have been, I had that heavy thing. My leg got tired. I wasn't feeling myself. You stick a mic in somebody's face and ask them a question 3 minutes after a loss, and they just rattle off a bunch of stuff, but you spotlight and say that this one thing was the excuse that he gave for the fight is just disingenuous and taking somebody's words and making them sound like something that he didn't mean. And people run around and use it and act as if Deontay Wilder just believed it was the headgear, although he never said that or never intended to communicate that. So now you have another situation where this is something that's probably just completely pulled out of somebody's backside, but yet you have Tyson Fury responding to it. So when Tyson Fury responds to it, it's, I don't blame Tyson Fury for responding the way that he responded, right? And he basically said that, he doesn't want to pay Deontay Wilder any money. The way that he'll get rid of Deontay Wilder is by beating him again. And I'm thinking to myself, why would Tyson Fury want Deontay Wilder to step aside? I still maintain that the fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury in the United States is bigger than the fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua in the UK because of the cost of pay-per-view and because of the cost of tickets, provided that everything, remains the same after, after we get out of all of this, the quarantine, the stay at home, and boxing gets all the way up and back going. Why would Tyson Fury want to do that? Especially since Tyson Fury doesn't even have a UK boxing license because he had to try to get slick to get out of that issue he may have upcoming with UCAD over the perjured testimony that he proffered to UCAD in defense of his positive test for nandrolone. But I mean, it's just, look, man, anybody believes Deontay Wilder is he asked for $10 million. That doesn't even sound like the right math for that particular fight. Number two, the idea that Deontay Wilder and Deontay Wilder's team wouldn't know that they could just speak directly to Bob Arum about it, and it wouldn't be something that they were going to that was going to get out in some rumor. But what from Bob Arum is this. And everything people have officially heard from Deontay Wilder's team and Tyson Fury's team is this: that rematch is set in stone. That rematch is going to happen. The only reason that it may not happen is because of what's going on with the pandemic and the fact that you have different people living in different countries, and so you don't know the timing of it. You also have Bob Arum. Now, Bob Arum might be setting for the stage for that with this talk that he's been giving out about how the prices of pay-per-view need to be lowered for the next, when they come back. Like, instead of doing a pay-per-view with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder for $75 or $80, that he wants to take it down to $40. Like, yeah, okay. Well, first and foremost, the whole conversation to me is interesting because last time I checked, Deontay Wilder was the guy that had the rematch clause And well, they both had rematch clauses, so I'm not sure. But usually it's the guy that had the rematch clause that's still dictating the terms of the things going on. And so that should be with Deontay Wilder, but more than likely they pre-negotiated a lot of that stuff in the other agreement. But anyway, you cut it. You know, Tyson Fury's response to what Deontay Wilder said is neither here nor there, because Deontay Wilder most likely never said it. And we're just now, especially out of the UK, in this business of trying to trash Deontay Wilder for not for views, but for, I guess, for clicks and for people to read your news articles. Because not only is there a bunch of bashing Deontay Wilder going on around Tyson Fury subject, now, according to a bunch of people in the UK, he can lose to Mike Tyson, and Daniel Dubois is ready to fight him tomorrow. And man, they just marketing. They're marketing fighters based off the name of Deontay Wilder and the disrespect of Deontay Wilder. But hey, the only way around this is for Deontay Wilder to take that rematch, solve the problem, and then they can go on about disrespecting the dude for something else. You know what I mean? Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section about this step aside rumor stuff and Tyson Fury's response. And with that, I'm out. Peace.